Plastic is a substance the Earth cannot digest. This has been the inspiration for our idea. Who are we? We are Convalescent Plastics, and we would like to begin by introducing our team members. I am Ben Haynes, the team leader.
I'm Cameron Nolan, the team organizer.
I'm Holden Barber, the head researcher.
I'm Liam Piper, the lead archivist.
And I'm Liam Trone, and I'm the team design lead.
As you probably know, over 8 million metric tons of plastic enters the ocean each year. This number is only going up.
Unfortunately, this is having detrimental effects to the ocean ecosystem. For example, 2 beached whales were discovered recently, each with large amounts of plastic inside of them.
Thankfully, though, the world has come up with 4 great solutions, which we call the 4 R's. The first of which is reduction. Reduction is great because it lowers the amount of plastic we use. We don't really need plastic bags or straws, so why not just ban them? I don't see the problem with that.
Well, for one, it would be incredibly hard to convince companies and manufacturers to reduce usage, since plastic is inexpensive to produce and mold. We've already actually tried banning some plastics when Canada and the UK, along with some companies, banned plastic straws. However, this barely contributed to the issue, as much more plastic enters the ocean than just those straws.
Okay then, so if only banning some plastic doesn't work, why not just ban it all? I mean, do we really need plastic that badly?
Yes, we do. Plastic, especially higher grades, is used in many areas. For instance, plastic is used extensively in the medical fields due to its ability to keep out bacteria and seal off certain areas. Plastic can also be made to be extremely durable and, once again, is quite cheap to produce. No one would stand for simply banning all plastic.
Alright, so that is a bad idea. But what recycling? I mean, we've been doing it for this long, so it must work, right?
Unfortunately, even though we've been recycling for so long, it can only do so much. Each time we reuse, we have to add more plastic to the product, otherwise it needs to be thrown out.
Okay, so all of these are bad. But imagine if we could just completely remodel plastic and make it into more eco-friendly and biodegradable material. That would solve the problem, and the need to rely on companies and communities to recycle would disappear.
Yes, while it's a good idea, there's one flaw. The UN has been hammering down on recent eco-friendly plastic products. Why, you might ask? Well, the biodegradable plastics have been found to be more toxic to the environment than normal plastic.
So none of these work?
It's not that none of them work. It's just that even when combined, they just don't do enough.
And so, we got to work coming up with our solutions.
Our first idea was simple: a large plastic collection device fashioned after a whale.
However, we rejected this idea due to the fact that it fell under removal. Plus, a giant mechanical whale is impractical at best.
So we decided to go closer to the root of the problem by placing filters in a select few rivers, which we found to be the largest contributors of plastic pollution. Once collected, the plastic could be recycled and reused.
However, this idea was also rejected due to the fact that it had 2 flaws. One, shared with recycling and removal, and for another, building and maintaining these filters would be a monumental task.
So we had another idea: bamboo-based products. It would replace plastic, and since it grows quickly, we wouldn't be in short supply.
However, we did not use this idea due to the fact that, as with other solutions that try to remodel plastic, they fail to be as effective and are barely more environmentally friendly.
All of our solutions had detrimental flaws with ideas tried before.
But then we had an idea. What if we took our most promising idea yet and give it what it lacked? Implementation.
Introducing the micro method. We would take bacteria being developed by elite scientists and place it in microscopic capsules, which could be implemented directly into plastic to be melted when it reaches the ocean.
And so, after contacting multiple professors and receiving some positive feedback, we decided to continue with this idea.
For our idea, we have not created the bacteria, as several very qualified teams around the globe are currently working to create a more efficient and industrially viable version of the bacteria. We are instead working on how to incorporate the bacteria on a much larger scale. The name of this bacteria is Ideonella sakiensis. This bacteria has the incredible ability to digest PET polymers, which is the exact same as its living space. Our idea is to incorporate this bacteria inside of microcapsules, which would be inserted into the plastic so that once it reaches a ocean environment, they would be released onto the bacteria and degraded.
Getting the bacteria into the microcapsules is difficult, but we have come up with a couple techniques. One way, called spray drying, involves suspending the bacteria in water and then running it through a spray dryer. Drying the bacteria allows it to be easily encapsulated.
Next up, we have the policy. The policy is an important way to give companies an incentive to use our product. The policy is composed of a bill that we will give to companies that will give them a tax cut if they use our product in their plastic.
This idea is great, as it gives companies good press, and it also doesn't require the general populace to have to recycle.
Years ago, another problem just as pressing as plastic pollution arose. Old refrigerators were discovered to be releasing harmful gases into the atmosphere and tearing holes in the ozone layer. But in a rare moment of camaraderie, the world came together and found a solution to this problem.
Once again, another issue for humanity has risen. 1 year in the making. But we believe that the Earth can once again band together to find a solution to this problem. Plastic is a substance the Earth cannot digest. But we can help. We are Convalescent Plastics, and we hope that you deeply consider our idea to micro-encapsulate bacteria inside plastic. I am Ben Haynes.
I'm Cameron Nolan.
I'm Holden Barber. I'm Liam Piper.
And my name is Liam Trone, and we are now opening for questions.
Thank you for your presentation. That was really great. I'm Alex. I'm a curator at Science World for their Sustainability Our World Gallery and for the Ken Spencer Science Park, the outdoor science park out there. So my question, in the process of researching this whole thing, it sounds like you've connected with some experts in their own fields. Basically, I'm curious, like, what happens if the products that have this microencapsulated bacteria, what if they don't reach the ocean? Like, does it affect the plastic in a way that it couldn't be recycled still, or like?
That is a very good question. However, no, this should not affect the plastic and make it unrecyclable, as they are very, very small capsules. And you can still reuse the plastic, and then if it still reached the ocean, then it would still be able to be dissolved once it reaches the ocean. So it should have no impact on it being recycled whatsoever.
And like the strength of the plastic and stuff, that's all the same? Because you noted that we do need plastic for pretty high grade things sometimes.
Yes, the strength of the plastic will remain the same because the capsules are so small.
Thank you.
Thanks for the presentation. I'm Adrian with Plastic Oceans. We got to meet briefly downstairs. Have you done any research into what would be the next steps for doing a proof of concept in a controlled environment to make sure that, as I was asking downstairs, that we're not just going to be breaking up plastics into microplastics and still going to be creating a lot of the issues with ingestion with marine life and seabirds?
That is a great question, and I will be passing it on to Holden, our lead researcher.
That is a great question. The next steps for the idea would probably be actually field testing the idea, as you said. And we would probably be looking more into what the microencapsulations would be composed of, because as of now, we know that it would be a multi-layered microencapsulation, but we don't know the exact elements that would be used to make the encapsulation.
Thanks. And then, do you have more?
No.
Just one, I am a little concerned about the promoting complacency with people not having to recycle because it's okay if it reaches the ocean, because it's not just the toxins that are going in there. It's, as it does break down, it's creating ingestion issues, entanglement and such. So we just have to be really careful of something that might promote complacency in people and being like, oh, it's not a problem because it has this enzyme in there and it'll be fine in the ocean.
just
we are,
something to look for.
we're not trying to promote complacency. Rather, we're just saying that with the current technologies and ideas that we are using, it will not be enough to create a permanent solution to the issue. While we still do want people to recycle and help in as many ways as they possibly can, but we realize that not everybody recycles, and even if everybody does, it's still not a permanent solution. So we are coming up with this so that the people who don't recycle will still be contributing, and that the people who recycle, they'll be contributing in more than just one way.
Hi, my name is Catriona. I work with Foresight Clean Tech Accelerator. Thanks for the presentation. I love the story. I love the theatre. It was fantastic. I wanted just to mention that I guess this is an advanced type of material, lab research. Typically it takes a long time to get to market. How do you think you would keep the business going, or the research and development process going until it becomes a commercialized product that is then is it sellable? Who's your target audience?
Well, that is a very good question, as it would be very difficult, supposedly, to keep the company afloat. However, the bacteria itself is already, as we said, being worked on by other scientists around the globe. So we wouldn't have to spend as much effort producing the bacteria ourselves. We just need to produce the microcapsules. And our target audience is the plastic manufacturers and companies. So we don't have to go to so we don't actually have to go to people with our idea, and we don't have to rely on people buying the right or wrong products. We just need to go to the companies and manage to convince them that the tax cut, which will give them a profit, is worth it for using our product.
I'd like to add something. Unfortunately, there must have been a mistake, but we actually lost about 4 slides by accident, I think. Because when we were talking about the 4 R's, there were some slides similar to the ones about process that showed how each of them would not work.
Can we still get that mechanical whale?
If you're willing to fund it, we would be more than glad to do it.
Their department. I'll drive it.
Well, it's not patented, so you can have it.
I will make one point. I don't think you necessarily need a tax cut for the businesses to do this. They should be doing this as a responsible business. They don't. It's just good business, and they will get more customers because of that.
Of course, but unfortunately, there are those companies that frankly don't care. So.
Things change. Thank you.
Thank you.
So much.